Oh, Lord.
Coach, if you just want to make an opening statement, we'll take questions.
Absolutely. I've never seen anything like it. I know I've never, as a player and never as a coach, won a game that we had 5 turnovers and didn't create any. So, just really, really proud of a group of guys that have worked really hard. This was our best week of work. We had 8 practices. We hit each other. We tackled each other. We banged the guys up. We had about half of them in red jerseys for half the week. They just bought into going back and doing things simple, outworking and out-hitting people, and that's the only thing I think of is when you watch the film, we're going to see that we outworked and out-hit folks because we sure didn't outplay them. I mean, putting the ball on the ground and 2 of 10 on third down, every bit of that says you're not supposed to win, but this group just wouldn't give up. And some guys made some critical plays. Defense played lights out with the exception of one run that they all want back. Played lights out and backed up and short field and just kept coming up and making them kick it. And so really proud. Crazy things, we can get better. We still got so many mistakes, it's hard to count. If we can get rid of the critical mistakes, we got a really good football team lying underneath all that rubble. That could be really tough to beat if we can find a way to get through that. So with that, I'll answer whatever you got.
What'd you tell your team on that final possession you got down the score?
On the way down, just trust, man. Just trust you're gonna make a play. Well, I mean, when defense keeps giving back, just trust we're gonna make a play. And I don't know what 4th and whatever it was for Hanson to scramble and because it seemed like nothing was going right. They guys, they didn't flinch. He didn't flinch. They really just stayed calm and clock's running down, no timeouts. They just stayed calm and a couple guys made plays. I was really proud of Justice to be willing to make the 2 throws he had to make in one-on-one coverage. Number 1, to see him, and number 2, to throw him, because he had tried that earlier and thrown the interception, and I know that's got to be in the back of his mind. But to have the presence and the confidence to make the throws when it counted, those 2 one-on-one balls, I mean, those are right where they need to be, where it's us or nobody, and that takes a lot for a guy. That's why he's our quarterback, with the good and the bad. But really proud of how they found a way to get that done.
Coach, offensive line's taking a lot of criticism the last 10
Yeah.
days. Just talk about the job they did tonight, sticking together and
Well, them and everybody, I think just collectively the group pulled together tighter than we've ever been. We've been struggling to come together as a team with all the new moving parts, and they did a great job. I got to give Buster and Alan credit of making some adjustments. We talked about don't do what we've always done or what you've always done. Do what you feel like they can do, and I think they really evaluated the run game, looked at what we've done well in the past, looked at what they thought this defensive front was, where they were going to be vulnerable, and they made some changes, and we worked on some things that we really not spent a lot of time on the last few weeks, and the changes worked, and we ran the ball obviously very effectively, and that's swallowing your pride and finding what works and giving the kids some angles and some confidence, and it was a great plan, and you got to give those guys credit, and obviously, like you said, the O-line, I mean they wanted to run the ball. I mean, 97 yards, when things look pretty bleak, to go down and get it in the end zone, and primarily that being on the ground, that's huge. I mean, we got a chance to win games. We rushed for 340 against anybody.
How stressful were those 2 turnovers on your first 2 possessions?
Just about as stressful as the other 3 that we had later. The punt muff. I don't know. We work ball security, and we talk ball security more than any place I've ever been as a coach or player. And I don't know, maybe we take a different approach. Maybe we need to quit talking about it altogether, because right now we've got to get it handled. The great thing is, you see, if we can get that and not turn the ball over, we've got a chance to be explosive, which we all thought would be the case. But I don't know. We got to get a grip on it. But stress, huge, but defense, man, they came through. They came through, stopped them on 4th down, got us the ball back, made them kick it both times with short fields. Can't say enough, man. Joe and them, they did a great job.
Did you see where Looper got mixed up on the punt return?
Yeah, I mean, he boomed one, and he should have just let it go. He's trying to make a play. I mean, I love the fact that he wants to make a play, but I need better decision-making than that. That ball's got to be – I mean, you got to say the guy kicked a good one, I got to let it go. Came at a bad time. And I thought the defense did a great job bowling up, and then offensively we didn't quit. We kept playing.
Do you think one of the turning points may have been after that fumble that they got down to like the 2 and all they could get out of the field goal?
Oh, I think every time the defense was able to get a stop and make them kick it, I mean, that's huge for us. That's a huge victory. We talk about putting out the fire. Short field, turnover, just put out the fire, and they rose to that challenge against a really good rushing football team. So, yeah, I think you get a lift from that. And I just thought, if you watch on the sideline, our team was pulling for each other. I mean, you had defensive guys in the offensive huddle, offensive guys in the defensive huddle. That's been consistent every week, and it's been even more prevalent this week than ever before. Really found strength in each other and solidified a group of guys that worked hard.
Coach, we most of the game, pretty clean game, but then got 2 penalties there towards the end of the game. But that's pretty good compared to everything else going on tonight.
Yeah, but they weren't stupid penalties. They were competitive penalties. I don't know that I agree with them. I didn't agree with a couple of them, but they're not the personal fouls. They're not jumping off sides. They're not late hits. They're guys in the middle of a play, competitive play. Those are going to happen. We overcame a lot of them. We did a better job there. And you're right, we've reduced them. And we did that a week ago too. I mean, we penalties, other than the Utah State game, has really not been – they've handled that the right way. Well, that's an improvement that we definitely have made. The biggest issue right now is just turnovers and not creating them. It's 2 games in a row we don't create a turnover. That's what we were made for. That's the way we were bred a year ago, and they know that's still the case and still turning it over too much. We got to get that fixed to be the team we want to be.
After the first, couple games, you guys, seemingly unable to get anything to go your way. What does it finally feel like to get that first win this season?
I don't know if y'all watching, but I was crying like a baby down there. You talk about a huge weight lifted and just emotions just running deep because what these kids have done. There's a lot of opportunity for these kids to quit. There's a lot of opportunities for these guys to point fingers, and they did the exact opposite. They truly became closer. They bought in even more. They pushed themselves even harder. So, yeah, I know we didn't win a championship tonight, but it felt that way to watch them get to celebrate together and see all the work pay off. We got to do this 1 week at a time, and we're capable of that if we can continue to improve.
You guys really attacked the edges on the run game. Was that part of the adjustments? And also, Johnston White looked healthier tonight than he had all year. How much was that part of it too?
Well, we knew that they're built really, really well up on the inside, and just going downhill at them was a waste of time, unless we had them tired and had them moving with tempo. And even when we did run downhill the few times, which might have been 4 or 5 all night, it did not give us what we wanted. So we just felt like we had to get them moving laterally, create some creases, and let those 2 guys go. And the wideouts blocked their tails off on the perimeter. I know we got called for a holding on one, which I still don't agree with. But just the way the O-line handled the front, that's what they're good at. It gave them their best advantage. I was talking about Allen and Buster really doing a good job of evaluating what we could do, what gave us the best chances, and then being willing to do it. That's not easy to do. You get comfortable with some things, and it paid huge dividends for us tonight.
Did you see a little extra out of Johnson?
I thought both of them actually just the more we ran the ball, the better we ran it, the more confidence you saw, and really they started expecting big things to happen. I don't know that at any point up to this game we've felt that way, and it was great to see the confidence starting to grow that, hey, we're going to create some holes, and I'm going to expect this thing to pop. And you could see that starting to happen as the game progressed.
How do you make sure that there isn't going to be a letdown in the next game?
I just go back to work one day at a time, and this is about as good evidence as you can get that the process works, and that we got to pay attention to the process and make sure that we go to work. And I really don't think there's a chance. This team's hungry, really frustrated, to start the way we did, and to breathe some new life in them. I think they're going to come with even more energy this next week, and hopefully we get a packed house of folks here to help us move to the next one.
You mentioned earlier in the week that despite the 4 losses, how positive the team was in the locker room. Some of your assistants mentioned the same thing before the game on the field. Do you feel like White helped keep it together late to make this comeback?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. The way they responded, leadership of the veterans and staff, and just pulling together. You don't come back from 5 turnovers and win in the last seconds of the game without those attitudes. That's a special group of guys. Nobody hurts worse than they do when we lose. I mean, they've been the ones that have to go sleep on it every night and come to work every day, and they've done it. There's been folks along the way that bailed out on us, but they didn't. And I really appreciate the people that came out tonight. The true family was here tonight to help us get through it and cheered them on and stayed till the end. And man, that's what makes this place special to me.
Coach, how fitting was it that on the big play that they had, Rosser had an MA on that one, that he ended the game with the sack?
Yeah, it's pretty good because you're right. He got out of gap and it creased and he knew it and came back and told everybody on the sideline it won't happen again. And for him to be able to make the play to seal the deal, that's pretty fitting.
Notice Q Heath didn't play as much as normal. Was that disciplinary or just?
No, just we're trying to create competition every day, and we talked last week about what we expected all week. Other guys, had better practice reps and gave Coach what he needed. You have to ask Coach Carlton more specifically, but we're lucky to have competition at that position, and he can respond and dig himself back in there. But hopefully we got guys that are playing well enough that it makes it tough. And I want seniors to be able to be involved, but they also got to make sure that they're giving their position coach what he's needed and what's needed. And I'm not real sure. Wasn't a lot of conversation about it. We just went to work.
Was that the same deal with Looper? He didn't play a whole lot of offense.
Yeah, a lot of the perimeter run was involved, and we were going to rotate a lot. And he's not blocked extremely well on the perimeter, and so we wanted to make sure we gave our best chance. And same thing, we gave guys opportunities to compete during the week and just felt like we were going to play all those guys. I thought it was great to see a guy like McKinnis step up and make a huge catch. Omar has not had a whole lot of balls come his way, make a huge catch when needed. I think next man up mentality with Chris Murray going down tonight and potentially being down for a while. To be honest with you, somebody else has got to step up, and they did a good job of that. It's collarbone. It's not broken. Potentially some ligament issues, so they're going to have to look at it a little bit closer. I don't know if it's a 10-day deal or a 3 or 4 week deal, and we'll have to evaluate it a little bit closer tomorrow.
Your linebackers had huge games. Is that kind of what you need against an option team like that?
Well, we felt like that we had to control the front and create and make them double people up front so the linebackers could run, and it's got to be dive, quarterback, pitch, and like for the most part, we did a great job of that. And there was a lot of those. We're traveling downhill and being physical at the point of attack. So, yeah, I think you've got to have linebackers and safety play really, really well against an option football team, and your front's just got to hold their ground so nobody gets up to the second level. And I don't. It's hard to tell, but I would say that the film's probably going to show that we did a good job of that all night.
Speaking of that, a couple guys, Kyle Wilson gets his first start, Trent Ellis, what you seen from those guys?
Well, Trent was getting his start due to Buckethead being, sitting in the locker room for the first half, but he did really well, especially for a true freshman. Kyle's gotten better every week. He's a violent, fast, physical guy. We liked him in the spring. I think he's starting to play, really back up to what his form is. I thought he struggled a little bit early. I don't know if it was just confusing and too much, but you see him being more and more comfortable every week. It's hard to tell you, but I know he showed up. I know he came through, made a couple hits in the backfield. He ran well to the perimeter. A couple times Trent, they were trying to block him and cut him. He still played off the block and made the play for virtually no gain or a couple yards. So that's the kind of play you got to have. String it out, wait for help to show up. String it out, wait for help to show up. And most of the night we had bodies, a lot of hats showing up to the ball.
The last 5 minutes of the game, you got timeouts. What kind of scenarios were you running through your mind and kind of
Well,
last 5 minutes?
I knew that, they could only, if we could get a stop, that they could only run about 10 seconds off the clock. And we've worked 2:40 on the clock, 2:30 on the clock from the minus 35, a million times. And actually our 2 minutes drills have gotten progressively better over the last month. We couldn't get a first down and couldn't kick a field goal back in fall camp. But the last 2 weeks, we finished up and won the 2-minute drills. As Justice has settled in, he's moved the chains with his feet a few times. He's checked the ball down a few times. And honestly, just like tonight, when our defense has given us some one-on-ones, he's made critical throws. And it looked like one of our practice series, with the exception of the miraculous scramble, which doesn't happen every day. The series looked very similar to what we've seen in practice. I'm not sure that down to the time and the yardage that it wouldn't have been almost exactly what we've worked in practice over the last week or so and had a similar result.
What's the biggest improvement you feel your team has made over the past 5 weeks?
Over the past 5, wow, put me on the spot. I just, to me, we've just grown closer together, to be honest with you. I think we had a lot of individuals, a lot of talented individuals early. I think every week, honestly, every setback that could have broken us apart has actually pulled us closer together. I think we're playing more physical football right now than we were 4 or 5 weeks ago. You know, and we made a conscious effort to be that team, to out-hit an opponent. I don't think we've done that all year. And I thought tonight we did that. You don't run the ball for 300 plus, and you sure don't, you know, string out and play the option game as physically as we did and make them throw the ball without playing physical football. And I think that's the biggest thing, and we need to continue to do that moving forward. We've got to be the most physical team on the field to win in this league.
Guys, time for a couple more, then we need to keep the process moving.
Hey, we won, man. I'll talk all night. What are you talking about? I'm just messing with you. What else you got? I don't want to run off.
Everybody good?
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Questions for the players?
Well, I guess first thing, how's it feel to win?
Wow. Feels great.
It feels pretty good. You know, the O-line did their job. You know, we just came together, O-line, backfield, you know, wide receivers. As a core, we just did what we needed to do. We knew we could run the ball. We just had to get it clicking.
Justice, what were you thinking on that last drive?
Run for your life.
That fourth down?
My first thought was the last time we're in this situation, I didn't get it, and then run whenever I need to keep the chains moving. But other than that, I mean, I got all the faith in the world in all these guys. So especially that last play, just giving Omar a chance. I feel like I always complete those balls to him. So again, he just comes up with another play.
On that fourth down run, you're scrambling out. I mean, when did you decide, like, I'm running the ball, I'm running this play?
Man, I saw the play call. I automatically knew, like, cause like we got a good bond. Like anytime I'm in a game and he see me in practice, he just throw it up, and I knew right then, like I had to make a play. Like I ain't really do nothing the whole game, but I was doing stuff to affect. You know what I'm saying? The plan on we was doing and him running the ball. So when they called my number and I just had to make a play, it's a blessing.
When you were waiting on the replay, how confident were you that you'd got the knee down before the hand?
When I saw the knee down, I was just like, well, for one, everybody grabbed me. I couldn't do nothing, say nothing. They took my helmet off, but I knew I had got my foot down though, and my knee.
Warren,
How confident were you guys as runners in your guys' plan tonight? Coach was talking about how it was a little bit different tonight than what you had been doing. Did you guys feel a little different confidence, or did that come when things kind of started to work early on tonight? Or
You know, no change really. You know, our confidence was there. You know, outside zone is what we do, and with our speed and with our linemen that can, with the athleticism they have to get around and block the guys in space. You know, we did our job, and we got the backs in space. Not just me, but multiple backs, and we got our yards.
Warren, it seemed like too, on the outside, this seemed like one of the best games for the wideouts as far as blocking goes. I mean, it seemed like they really put in a lot of work tonight blocking for you guys on the outside.
Oh, definitely. You know, I appreciate them. I thank them every time we make a play. And, you know, the plan was, you know, get our guys out in space, and out in space you make one miss, and, you know, we're going to do what we do.
Okay, it was 2 minutes and 19 seconds. So I'll ask the defense what they were doing on the sideline. Offensively, I looked at him, I said 1st and 70. You're on the 30-yard line. What were the offense kind of going through, and then on the sideline, the defense, what were y'all doing at 2 minutes and 19 seconds?
Having good faith, you know, speaking good into existence. You know, you can't be negative. We've been negative for 4 weeks in a row, and you've seen what negative got it. So constantly believing. No matter what happens, we constantly got the offense back. You know, chanting, everything just in good positivity. You know, that's all we was doing on this sideline. So it turned out in our favor.
Was some of that due to the fact that you guys know the success you've had in conference play, and the coaches are talking about new season despite the 4 losses, heading back into conference play again?
Yeah, I mean, we were pretty confident coming into this game. You know, we just looked at it like a new season, like you said. Looked at it like a new season. We knew it was at stake. You know, we trying to go 8-0, but 1-0 for the night. You know, for the week. So we was pretty confident coming into this game.
How much of it going into this game, though, let's just be honest, was the fact that it was Georgia Southern, and you guys haven't been able to play them up till now? I mean, there's a rivalry without a game up to this point. There's been a lot of chatter. How much of that played into this motivation for you guys?
It's a lot. I mean, cause like they were saying how physical they was gonna be, and Coach Anderson and the receiver coach, like every staff person, like they just want us to be more physical than them and just outwork them and out hit them, and that's what we did.
Justice, for you, you know, turnovers were an issue, early pick that was off the tip there, but able to keep the confidence going. I mean, things weren't going your way early on, but able to keep your nose down and have that gigantic run, which we still don't know where that came from. But that, I mean, just being able to keep confidence and like what you said, learning from what you did before.
Yeah. It's really, I mean, if you look at our games and our drives, we really hurt ourselves every time, you know, every single time. So it's really nothing that anybody else does to us. It really hasn't been. You know, for the whole season, it's been us hurting ourselves. So, like you said, too many turnovers, absolutely. And then a few penalties here and there. But, I mean, other than that, we're able to move the ball. So, I mean, I have confidence every time we go out there.
Justin, did the extra days of prep time, taking all the first team reps in practice, make you feel more confident coming into the game?
I think so. You're always going to be more confident the more you play with a group of guys. So I think those 3 extra days or whatever helped.
Anything else for the players?
Thank you, gentlemen, and congratulations.
Thank y'all.
Y'all have a good night.
Let's never do that again.